Welcome to Dove and Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak. I'm here with Arie Brish. Welcome.
Hello.
And
thanks for having me, Emma.
Yeah, great to have you on the show. Now, I'm going through your website a little bit, CXO360, in your wonderful book, which is a Amazon bestseller, Lay an Egg and Make Chicken Soup, is right there for us. Now,
Yes.
Where did you come up with the idea for this book?
Okay, so it's kind of evolution over the years. Okay. Many young engineers or young entrepreneurs, even engineers in large companies, what I have experienced, and I was there many years ago as well, you come up with new ideas, or you're very creative in coming up with new ideas, but then you lack the experience on how to execute and how to commercialize these new ideas. Mm-hmm. And the more years pass by, the more I realized it's across the board. At some point, several years ago, I started to mentor in different accelerators and incubators, and I've talked to dozens of entrepreneurs, and I saw the same thing, the same pattern repeat. They have great ideas, and I enjoyed being a mentor because I learned a lot from them. But then on the other side of the coin, most of them did not have a clue of the challenges they're facing in executing and bringing these ideas to the market. So I started to write notes to myself, blogging about that issue. And, a year or two later, I found myself, I have so much material that maybe if I glue it together in the right way, it will make a book. So the book is right behind me. Lay an egg and make it plays on the common metaphor of chicken and an egg.
Right, which comes first.
Yeah, exactly. I just took the chicken to the next step, put it in a soup.
Well, that's what we have to do, though. We have to have the chicken, we have to have the eggs, and we have to have it put together in the right order.
Right.
I'm going through your website, and you have some wonderful partnerships here that you've worked with. And so you have a wealth of knowledge. And entrepreneurs need this knowledge, because as an entrepreneur myself, I don't know what I don't know.
Exactly.
And we don't know until someone like you teaches us, hey, you need to be doing this. Well, I didn't know I needed to do that.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's exactly a very good point. You got exactly the essence of it. And by the way, one of the chapters I cover, so the structure of the book is every discipline has a chapter. So finance, a chapter, marketing, a chapter, business development, a chapter, human resources, a chapter just for managing people in an innovative organization. It's a different animal. All of these disciplines are there are certain aspects that are unique to commercializing innovation, different than if you sell cookie cutters, bottles of milk to your local supermarket every week, the same bottle of milk. Mm-hmm. That's one type of salesperson. It's a totally different type of salesperson that needs to introduce a new product to the market. It's a different mindset. You need to have a different incentive package to these salespeople, because when you sell a bottle of milk, the same bottle of milk to the supermarket, all you need is to walk in once a week and take the order and get your commission. When you're talking about a new product, you have to spend hours and hours and hours before you make the first sale. Right. So it's totally different person that enjoys this, and totally different incentive package. Normal salespeople just work on, commission, where a new product, business development or salesperson, it's different incentives, more long term, because it could some industries sales cycle could be 2 or 3 years. So you cannot just work on commission if you have to wait 5 years before the first sale. So that's just one example. So on the human resources, one of the key things in innovation is the diversity of the human mind. Okay, you need diversity in, what schools you went to, what kind of degrees you have, different genders, different people from different countries. The more diversity you have in the team, the more creative the team is. Because if you do a business with your best friend from first grade, you almost think like twins, right?
Yeah.
But if you have, people from all over the world, from all different genders, different ethnicity, blah blah blah, different religiouses, each one brings a different aspects, and you start to brainstorm, and your unified brain is your unified creativity is so much bigger. So this is one aspect of human management or human resources in an innovative organization. It's good to have diversity in any organization, but when you're talking about creativity and innovation, it's so much more
It's
important.
a lot. I mean, I work with three wonderful people. One's in the UEA. So we have the culture and the heritage and the mindset from that region. The other two are US based, but one is in Missouri, one's out in Oregon. So we have the diversity of the area. And then we're bringing our creative minds together to create different ideas and products.
Yeah. One of my favorite examples I bring to my classes, I also teach innovation in the university. I bring President Obama as an example. And the point I'm making there, that if I have to hire him, forget the fact that he was a president. Okay, let's say he's coming, being interviewed to be hired. It's not about the color of his skin. It's about the fact that he grew up in a multiracial parents. Part of his childhood was in Asia. So he has many things, forget the color of his skin. He has so many different experiences as a young adult that makes him so diverse in what he will bring to the party, regardless of the racial aspect. The racial aspect,
right. We don't look
totally
at
different.
the color of the skin. We work
Exactly.
at what does this person as a person bring to the table.
Exactly. Exactly.
Have the mindset to promote the business that you're trying to create? Do they understand the concept of whatever it is? Is it a new Bitcoin cryptocurrency? Is it a new type of car? Is it whatever the product is?
Exactly.
And then you bring to, okay, do they have the education to be put into a key position, or do they need an entry-level position?
And you mentioned education. People from different educational background will contribute as well. If you bring an engineer and an artist and an accountant in a room, they will come up with a better idea than if you just have a unified, homogeneous team of designers or engineers. The other thing is the fact that people tend to think about innovation as technology, but it doesn't have to be that way. There is lots of innovative companies that, everybody has, even my dentist have technology in the office, but the innovation part is in different aspects of the business. Think about Domino's Pizza. Their innovation was in delivering to people's house. They started with making phone calls. Now it's on the internet, so you can say it's a technology based.
Now everyone has delivery for pizza. Now everyone has Grubhub, and everyone has DoorDash, and all these different things. But it started
back when they started, it was pretty innovative.
Right.
Even Uber called themselves Uber technology, but their innovation is not in the technology. They didn't invent the internet. They didn't invent GPS. They just put them together to create a new service.
Correct.
So it's a technology base, but it's not, the innovation is not in the technology, it's in the service they provide.
You look at Amazon, you look at, you know, we can go through any type of company. It's just how are they taking things that we already have today and creating something new or something that helps other people in a different way.
Right. So think about IKEA, the concept of building your own furniture, or Southwest Airlines. They have a whole new concept. It was new at the time, but it's still very unique on how to handle their operations and logistics. They are very unique about that.
Right. And then you have to step back. Then you have all these companies trying to explain this because to investors or hedge fund people. Now, taking a company that is innovative and new and is not proven in the market and trying to explain this to a investor, and you need some capital of say 30 million. It's hard to do because you don't have a proven concept.
Yes,
and trying to get them into your mindset is you have to walk them through the steps. Well, the money is generated from A, B, and C downlines. Well, you have to explain everything because your innovative idea sounds great to yourself. You know you can do it because you're the entrepreneur, you believe in your product, but getting a venture capitalist to understand your idea is very hard sometimes.
Right. Back in the days, in the .com days, 1997, you come with an idea, you get immediately a check of $20 million. And now they expect you to bootstrap, prove your idea on your own dime or your own credit card before, and even then, you know, you show them, okay, I sold it to 1,000 people. In many cases, they say, come back, and after you sell it to 10,000 people or 100,000 people. So that's a whole another challenge, is being to convey the new idea to an investor or sometimes a customer. That's a whole new challenge, especially when you come up with the more innovative the idea is, the more difficult it is to
sell it
to investors, to sell it to customers. So the test,
even if you're a publisher or writing a book, and I'm going to take this down to the authors. If you have a new book out and it's not like you're taking 3 genres, meshing it together into one. Well, you're creating a genre now. Now you have to figure out your market. How do you market that one book? Because you're innovating a new genre.
Yes, absolutely. So book is another, there is a huge competition in books. And if you have to sell it to publishers, if your book is out of the box, nobody will touch it. So that's why I chose today's technology allowed me to self-publish the book. 20 years ago.
You did really well with Amazon bestseller.
Exactly. So 20 years ago, probably I would spend all my life in trying to convince publishers to support me. Well, now I do it myself, and I don't need any help from publishers, and I do my own marketing, by the way, because I focus on what I need from the book, not just the publisher that cookie cutter publisher that does a cocktail party for you once, and that's about all they do in marketing the books.
I mean, I do publishing. I'm an author as well, so I understand the marketing and everything that goes into it, and that takes money, it takes time, and then running a company, and then innovating what I'm wanting to innovate. So it takes time. We mix it all together and we come up with soup.
So when you're a publisher, you have so many hundreds or thousands of books you have to support. There is so much bandwidth in your focus and money in your focus that it takes a lot of time and effort and focus to publish or focus on one book. So I do my own. In this case, the book is not my product. It's more about the teaching behind the book.
Yeah.
The book is just a vehicle to
it's a
deliver my
vehicle.
teaching.
It's a tool to
Right,
get them to your product, which is your services on your website.
Exactly. So the book is losing money. Many books in this genre are losing money. They're a vehicle to sell the service, and there are many books in innovation. One of the classes I'm teaching, I inherited that methodology, but the students are required. Each student is required to choose one innovation book and present it to the class. And the amount of books is like hundreds of books about innovations. Each one has a different angle. And that was pretty interesting in educational class to hear all these different angles and different focus of the different books. And all of them, one common thread is the same as in my case. The book is just a vehicle to present my philosophy or the other author's philosophy. It's not about selling more books.
Right. If you're going in to write a book to sell more books, you're going in this all wrong.
Yeah, right.
But if you're going into this to give a tool or to entertain, depending on what genre you're in, fiction or nonfiction, then you're actually creating something.
Yeah.
But most books, if you think about it, long-term longevity, lose money. Doesn't matter if you're a fiction author, doesn't matter if you're New York bestseller, Amazon bestseller, or Joe Smo down the street selling them out of the back of his car. Your books lose money.
Yes, right, correct. Yeah. So my book is not a fiction, but it's a serious business book, but I try to make it a little entertaining, so people
and it works. I mean,
will not fall asleep reading it.
Yeah, we have to have our tools to teach us what we don't know.
Yeah.
The average author doesn't understand marketing. The average entrepreneur, until they are 5, 6, 7 years into the business, understands the marketing.
Yeah, right.
We don't understand coupons. We don't understand promos. We don't understand affiliate marketing and things like this.
Yeah. So the book is structured almost like a checklist, and the checklist is available as a free download on my website. You can just download the checklist, and you have the 20 or 30 points you have to look at, and make sure you
checking them off.
Check them off, right? But the thing in the book, for every checkpoint, I have 2 or 3 stories from real business cases. So you can get the checklist as a free download, or if you want to entertain yourself, you have 2 or 3 stories per check.
I mean, we all love our stories of our big businesses that we know, like Amazon and stuff like this. I'm not sure if Amazon's in one of your stories, but hearing
Maybe.
how they stumbled along the way to get to where we are today. We see the success. We don't see the struggles. We see the top of the ice cap. We don't see what's under it.
Yeah. So when is this going to air, by the way?
It's airing on Monday.
Oh, okay. I almost told you about one question in my test, but if you air before my test, I won't tell you.
Oh, no. Well, when's your test?
No, the test, actually, we have an open book test. It starts this weekend.
Okay.
No, I was just kidding, but one of the questions in the test is analyze failures of business celebrities. So many people that are considered business celebrities has some failures in their history. So one of the questions I had in the test is analyze what was the failure, why they failed, and how did they bounce back from that failure.
I mean, you look at Elon Musk, you look at Jeff Bezos, you look at
Henry Ford,
Demon John. They all have stories on how they stumbled, failed, and then got themselves up to be, number one in their fields.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly.
You cannot talk to someone that doesn't know who Amazon is.
Exactly.
They may not know Jeff Bezos owns it or created it, but they know Amazon. You cannot talk to someone that doesn't know Elon Musk or at least one of his companies.
Yes. Right. So all of them stumbled in the history, and they bounce back. That's another thing that I try to teach the students, and the book is, don't get discouraged. Life is full of speed bumps, and you just need to skip over or bypass the speed bump and move on. And if you fail, you stand up, undust your tush, and continue.
Right. You come into these walls. You can either go over the wall, go around the wall, dig under, or make a hole.
Yeah.
I prefer to disrupt everything and make a hole. But, we have these roadblocks. We have these stumbling points. We all do it within being an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, whatever you're doing. We all have these speed bumps.
Yes, right. And no need to be discouraged. It's I call it risk management. Okay, the fact that even let's say if you're very young and you don't have experience, you don't know where the speed bumps here. But even if you know about some of the speed bumps, don't let them discourage you. Just plan ahead how to wrestle with them or how to tackle them, and bypass whatever the solution is. So it's not about being, it's kind of, you need to be a little bit of a devil advocate, but not for the purpose of discourage yourself, more for the purpose of plan ahead how to tackle each one of the risks that you're facing in your journey.
And you have to. I mean, as a publisher, I'm going to use this as an example. People come into my publishing house and leave. At first, it was discouraging. People want to leave. They're not happy. But at the same time, it's a learning experience. Why are they leaving? How do I bring in better authors?
Yeah.
And, now I'm creating something and I have wonderful authors. I have a wonderful team, and we're succeeding because back here I stumbled. I learned from those stumbles, and now I'm succeeding.
Yeah. And it's hard to predict, no matter what business, whether you're a publisher or something else. Sometimes it's hard to predict where the successes are. One of the VCs in the Silicon Valley, they're humble enough to have on the website the list of the companies that they declined, and there are big names like Apple and Yahoo and Google, and all the big names in technology are in that list. So basically, they declined so many success stories.
Right. There's the story with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Several years ago, Elon went to Amazon to sell one of his companies to Amazon, and Amazon declined. The company now is $200 and some billion. I mean, this is people stumbling, and then the company goes back and probably kicks themselves in the rear end because they should have, jumped on it, but they didn't understand the innovation.
Apple tried to sell the first computer to sell to HP. HP declined, and now where is Apple? Where is HP? Amazon was trying to sell themselves to Yahoo, and Yahoo declined. Where is Amazon today? Where is Yahoo? So
we see this no matter what company is out there. We see the big names that we know, they have tried to sell themselves to another company that was well known back 20, 30 years ago. Where's the company that was trying to sell themselves now versus where their counterpart is, at the same time? It's give and take. But when you're innovating, doesn't matter if it's a book, doesn't matter if it's a company, doesn't matter if it's a new way to take food out of the oven without getting burned.
I love it. Yeah.
We do this and we stumble, we fail, and then we get back up. The companies that get back up and rebuild themselves are the ones that are Amazon, or Tesla, or Mac computers, or Apple, whatever it is, versus the ones that tried to give up.
Yeah, right, correct. One of the things in the book I do, I take, so there are several differences in the book. One of them, I take older examples. Everybody knows Amazon and Tesla and what have you. I go back 100 years and trying to find there are common threads in business, no matter if you are, invented the Gutenberg printing machine or you invent a new type of computer. There are generic business lessons in all of them. So many of the case studies and the examples I bring in the book are older, because only when you look, 50 years back or 100 years back, you see the entire impact of making this decision or that decision. So this is one. The other one you can learn from across industries. You may be a hotel and you have a business issue that maybe a hospital or an airline had the same issue 10 years ago, and you can learn from their experience. You just need to modify it for your particular business. But the generic, if you have an angry customer, it doesn't matter if it's an airline or a hotel or a hospital. It's a generic issue that you tackle no matter what your business is.
Right. If you go to McDonald's and you're an employee and you're dealing with an angry customer, you can carry that knowledge of being 16 years old, working at a McDonald's. I handle this angry customer back here. Well, now 20 years down the line, I'm working in a hotel and I have an angry customer. Can my experience from when I was 16 help me now?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the across industries examples and examples from history.
It is, and it's all innovative. It's all knowledge that we have to learn from each other. We can't do it ourselves. We have to have our mentors. We have to have books that lay out plans for us to follow, because it cross-pollinates.
Yeah.
And we have to do things for our company, even if we fail.
Yeah. The other thing, by the way, people think about innovation as a startup. There are many different challenges when you innovate in a large company. If you're employee at GM or IBM or whatever, you innovate. They come up with new products all the time. It's just the challenges are different.
Let's see. I think I forget which of the major, like Ford, GM or something's going into electronic cars. Well, they're taking what Tesla is doing and trying to bring it over to their company in a different way. It's different programs and, patents and whatever. But at the same time, they're trying to do something that's here, but make it work for their company.
Yeah, right. So that's a perfect example. When you start totally new, like a Tesla, come up with a totally new concept for electrical car. Nobody heard about it 10 years ago. There are certain challenges, but certain opportunities. You don't have any history to worry about this electrical car will kill my old business or something. But then somebody like GM or Ford or Volkswagen, they have the deep pockets to catch up with the early innovators. And people don't know that most car manufacturers today have electrical cars like Tesla. Tesla has the brand recognition of being the electrical car, but everybody now has electrical cars.
Very true. It's just, what do you want the thing? Do you want the brand from Tesla?
Exactly.
Do you want the brand of Ford or GM or whatever cars are out there? I'm not a car person. So what brand do you want? Is brand recognition.
Right, exactly. So people buy Tesla not because it's a better electrical car. Maybe it is, but they buy it so people will know that they drive electrical car. If I buy a electrical Audi, it looks like any other Audi. Nobody will know that I'm driving electrical car. Nobody will know that I care about the environment, blah, blah, blah. So there is a certain advantage for people to buy a Tesla if you want to be perceived as driving electrical car and taking care of our environment and, leaving our grandchildren a better world, blah, 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 all these good things. That's why...
This isn't a commercial for Tesla. It's but it's one of those big names that we can use because everyone can compare Ford to Tesla.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
whatever
It's a brand
cars-
recognition, a brand
Yeah.
power that they
But
became.
this, yeah, 20 years ago, we heard Tesla electrical
Yeah.
cars, and then we're like,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to drive my old Ford forever.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah.
but
yeah.
times change, brands change, our perception of the environment changes.
Yeah.
And we as innovators have to keep up with those changes.
Yeah, right. Mhm.
But thank you so much for being on the show. Where
Oh.
can our listeners and viewers find you?
Okay, so one obvious place is on Amazon. The other one, what you mentioned, thank you very much, is my website. It's cxo360.net. CXO, the letter O, 360, the number 0.net.
Awesome. And thank you so much for being on the show today. It was very fun.
Okay, thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
And for all of our listeners and our viewers, happy reading.